ourselves as people of colour in Britain, and looking at our own journey and owning our own journey, taking control of our own destiny, and celebrating our own culture and our own history and lineage, and having been taught in the education system for decades that we don't have a past, we don't know our ancestry, we came across the water as as enslaved people, and we needed the Europeans to organize us. Now we in Britain, people of color, we've come a long way from that, and we're networking and forming our own organizations, and you've got individuals like myself who are really taking on the norm and questioning things and challenging that norm, and really delivering content in a completely different and completely new way. I mean, I would have never have thought that I, as a woman of color, would be looking so closely at the British Empire. And just in my learning journey, because that's all it really is. I had a passion for history, and I had a passion and an interest in learning more about Britain's colonial past and unearthing stories that were hidden, or stories that had never been told. And the whole focus of the stories in the podcast was just to get young people and to get lovers of history to really look at achieving some sense of a balance of perspective in how we look at the past, and how we teach it in schools and how we learn about it.
Wow. Well, at least in the UK, you guys teaching history. They've taken a lot of history out of the classrooms here in the States. They no longer offer social studies as a class here. So it's just like they constantly don't want us to know the truth. And if parents, in a lot of our cases, in a lot of the Brown families, if you don't know your history and you're not sharing it with your kids, they're going to lack. And I tell you, a lot of us have waken up, and we realize that our history is much deeper than what they've been sharing in a lot of these books. Everything has been seen and portrayed in their eyes. But a lot of us, and I'm thankful, like you say, for people like yourself and individuals here in the States that are like me, that are being a voice for those that think that they don't have a voice, giving the kids the opportunity. I wouldn't be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing right now if it had not been for 30 young kids, ages 4 to I think it was at that time, I want to say 15, 4 to 15. Those 30 kids changed my life in 2016. If it had not been for those kids, I wouldn't be doing half of the stuff that I'm doing right now. It's because those kids told me that they did not want to be a part of a summer program that was just like school. They said, this is boring. This is just like school. I don't want to come. They hated to come there in the morning time. They fuss, they fight. They didn't want to get out the car with their parents. But 2 weeks into the program, the kids didn't want to go home. Parents were having to stay over and tell their kids, come on, I gotta go pick up so and so. We gotta go, we can't hang around. Kids starting to want to go home with Miss Angela. But I got it. I realized that these babies wanted to see more than what was being portrayed in the books that they were giving our kids. Like my kids couldn't pick up no book and go and see themselves playing with whatever kind of animal, if they had animals, because the animals that a lot of them portray, our kids don't even have. And a lot of things, horses, no, none of the kids have horses because they live in an apartment complex.
Mm.
A lot of them don't have a lot of the things that's being portrayed in these books. So how can they relate to the books? That was a lot of the problems that my youth were having. When I realized that, hey, I have to get these kids to truly tapping into this and understand this. So I started bringing in people. They said they wanted to be a lawyer. They wanted to be a doctor. They wanted to be a singer, whatever they wanted to be. I tried to find somebody. And in a lot of cases, it brought me to social media.
Mm.
I was able to pull some of these people. I had individuals that drove from Atlanta, that drove from different parts of North Carolina, just different parts of the U.S. to come and pour into my kids, into the program that I was doing. And it opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to do the stuff that I'm doing now. At that time, I wasn't even an author, had not even published a book. Since then, I am now the author of 54 books. I've collaborated, co-authored, co-published a total of 50 books, journals, planners, you name it. I have my hands in it because I refuse to not share this with my kids and my youth. It's our duty to help those coming behind us, whether we see the change or not.
Mm.
We have to help those coming behind us. How would they see the greater works if we don't share those greater works?
Absolutely. And what you just said there, those coming behind us, because the found that what we're doing now, we may not see the growth and benefits of it until after we are gone. But at the same time, we know that it's all been worth it. And I feel that we are kindred spirits in a lot of ways, because both of us have been inspired by the children and the young people that we have worked with over the years. And quite rightly, as you said, when we don't see ourselves in around us, when we don't see ourselves reflected positively in the world around us, we don't see what the relevance is, we don't see our relevance, we don't see our contributions. It's a bleak place, and it does lead to disaffectedness, it leads to a lack of motivation, and it leads people down a road where they just feel despair and just despondent, and they just feel, well, what's the point? I don't know what my place in life is. But I think you've made such a succinct and such a good point in trying to join dots and make connections with the real world and with real life, and trying to use those real life contexts to encourage young people to understand where they come from, to own and to celebrate their past, and to lay hold and fully understand and claim quite proudly their identity. So I salute you.
Wow, I salute you. I really want you to share these amazing books. See, I know everybody probably keep wondering why I keep glancing down, but I can't stop looking at. I was looking at the article of you inside of the magazine, and I just have to salute you. I have to. I love to give honor where honor's due, and I thank you for what you're doing and for impacting lives. You definitely have tapped into your power. See, a lot of us, we don't realize the power that we possess and what we sit on. But you position yourself to be an overcomer. You said you wanted to go out here and you wanted people to see. You wanted them to see the British colonial history in their eyes because they were born there. They want us to be an outcast because we look different from them. But this is our history. We were born here. We didn't get implanted in here. Did nobody move us here? We were born here. I'm a citizen here. That's what you're saying loud and clear. And you want people to know that. And I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that.
Angela,
And to look at the
the
different
the,
things
Brit,
that you're
the
doing.
British. Just to break in there before I lose my train of thought, you're absolutely right. But we need to own this. When I first started writing, doing my research and studying and for the stories, the British Empire. Well, I mean, we have a history curriculum in our country, and now it is moving towards a direction where diversity within our history curriculum and within our history is becoming more and more mandatory. So we have been quite fortunate in that, as school leaders, and in my position as a school leader, we've been able to make decisions about the diversity that can come into our curriculum. So we're incorporating stories about issues and people who look like us. We're incorporating units of study within the curriculum being taught in classrooms that look at historical events, about people relating to people like us. And it is becoming more and more prevalent. But when I first started writing these stories, the whole topic of the British Empire was an uncomfortable truth. It was something that nobody wanted to talk about. And I thought, I'm going to change this, because we all, even as older people, as adults, we all need to learn about this. This is a vital part of world history that, has been responsible for so many different changes and for so many different events and dynamics that happen between countries, that have prolonged certain situations in certain countries and are responsible for very much the way that the world is today. And I just knew it was going to be a difficult process for me in order to devise, first of all, what were the stories going to be about? What was the focus? What was I going to put into the stories? What was I going to leave out? What did I feel was of educational value? What do I feel are the important points within the whole colonial timeline? And just how that was going to be delivered. What was it going to look like? What format was it going to take? Just in the creation and the concept of the stories was a complete learning journey for me. And, luckily for me, because I am a teacher and a practitioner, I've got that pedagogy to be able to apply to the work that I do. And something that I've been working on for the past couple of months, actually, I've been devising an actual learning program about diversity in the curriculum. And it's a learning module about historical walks and, how we can just step out on our doorstep, and the notion that history is actually all around us. You don't even have to go to a history book. You don't have to go to a museum. There's evidence about the past all around us each and every day that we come across. And the learning program focuses on the presence of African and Caribbean people within our local area. And it's something that I've been working on during the summer, and it's helped me to learn a lot. It's moved my journey with stories to be told on just that little bit further, because apart from the stories and the podcast and the learning platform, I'd like to see how it can evolve, how it can grow, and what direction it can take in the future. And developing that learning program was an amazing experience, and it gave me the confirmation that there's room for growth, there's room for expansion. So yeah, that is why I have not had much of a social media presence over the last couple of months, because those of us that can actually do, and we don't always have time to produce content to post on social media. But doing one of those things, producing content in terms of learning programs, books, stories, it's so worthwhile. And I'm very proud to have the ability and the creativity and be in a position to do it.
Wow. Well, I definitely thank you for that. And then, a lot of us sometimes we are busy doing a lot. We can't keep up with everything, but we appreciate the things that are being done that we can keep up with. So one of the things that I truly pride myself on is being able to do these podcasts. Like you heading into your third season. I will be heading